Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Bruce Westfield coming to you live on the Grind Workshop podcast, where you are motivated and inspired to be the best version of yourself. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. I appreciate you tuning in on this episode. I want to thank my continuous supporters of the podcast. I want to personally say you continue to inspire me to be better each and every day and every week that I believe and feel that I'm adding value to your life. So thank you for tuning in. We just came from a Memorial Day weekend where we were celebrating the lives of those who've given their lives to give us our freedom that we have today. I want to personally thank those who've given their lives who are in their graves. Thank you. Thank you so much for protecting our freedom. And for those veterans or the people that are currently serving in the military right now, thank you for giving up your freedom as well to help us be where we want to be as a country. All right, let's go ahead and jump right on in. As you see, I have my coffee right here, and I want to go ahead and get into the coffee of the day with my sip of Cameron's coffee. It's the dark roast blend. I've been tuning people in, and I had somebody say, all right, Bruce, I'm finally going to try it, and they enjoyed it. So I hope you tune in and get your own version of Cameron's coffee as well. Here goes the sip. Ooh, that's good. So good. Man, so good. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about something that is very personal, very dear to my heart, that I've been operating in, I've been doing. I've been getting away from things and people that are not doing me any good, but I've been doing things and creating systems that are helping me to be more focused, to be more guided in my process, being more methodical about it, and most importantly, making moves without seeking approval. I want to talk to you today about moving in silence. You know, there used to be a time where I used to make a phone call to friends and family, or I would go to a barbecue, or I would go to family events, and I would tell people everything that I'm doing. And they weren't excited. They weren't excited. And I think about it now, and I'm not upset with anybody. I'm not mad or frustrated. I'm just not smart enough, but I'm just mature enough to understand that everybody will not be for you. Everybody will not be excited about the thing that you're doing. You know, as I'm talking to you today, as I'm talking to you, whether it's the podcast or whether you're looking at me on video right now, everybody will not be excited about the moves you make. And sometimes you have to protect your momentum. You have to protect the very thing that you create. Because the thing that you created, it can easily dwindle away by the negative energy of other people who are not excited about the moves that you're making in your life. Number one, you have to be excited about your own moves. Number two, you can't allow the people who are not excited about your moves affect what you create. You have to continue to create this bubble, this circle. It has to be a protective bubble that keeps you going and keeps the momentum going. And it allows you to get away from all the negativity, all of the bad thoughts that other people, they say around you, or maybe they may not say it out loud, but you can feel it. I know you've been around people where you can feel their negative energy because they're not happy about your moves. They're not happy about what you're doing in your life. They saw you when you were coming right out of high school. They saw you struggle. They saw you trying to figure out what you were going to do, if you were going to go to college or if you're not going to go to college. They were trying to figure out what are they going to do with their first job, or how they're going to go from whatever they said they're going to do and build that business to getting it where they are having sustainable income coming in to support the business. People always have assumptions, they always have opinions on what you should do. But I tell you this, you have to live and experience to figure out what you're going to do. And that's why sometimes you have to operate in silence. And when you're in silence, it doesn't mean that you are excluding the world from seeing you and you being able to be the real you. You need to be the real you. But when it comes to the moves that you're making, when it comes to the decisions that you're making about maybe that business that you have, or maybe you want to do like I'm doing. You're doing your podcast. You're trying to get your video out. And you're afraid of what other people might say or think about you trying to help people. You know what I tell you to do? Keep your mouth shut and do it anyway. Do it anyway. The worst thing you can do is not do it because you receive some negative opinions from other people and you don't want that thing to happen again. You just need to remove those people from that circle, from talking whatever it is they want to talk about, or stop telling them the things that you would normally tell them, and talk to people who ignite your fire. Those people who get you jumping on the inside and allow you to continue to move and operate at a high level that you know you're capable of going and being at. When I was pursuing my bachelor's degree and I was in the military and I had all those guys that I went into the first day of boot camp with, and we went to the ship together, and I started going to Navy college to figure out the college options that were around me, right? I signed up for classes. They had the same opportunity that I had to do, that I had. They had the same opportunities to sign up for the classes, and they didn't sign up. While they were learning the same job that I was learning, while I was losing sleep and they were getting sleep, I was still getting my studies done for the next 4 years while I was serving in the military. And I tell you this, the last couple of days we were on the ship, when our term was coming to an end of 4 years, I had 3.5 years of college already completed. These guys had how many? 0. Well, while I was doing it, they were saying, Bruce, I don't know why you're doing all this. Why are you doing it? I don't understand why you're not doing it. And then it got to a point when I said, I'm not going to tell them what I'm doing any longer. So I just let my actions speak louder than the negative voices. I drowned out the voices because I stopped talking to them and I stopped telling everybody what I was doing. 3.5 years of college done in 4 years. And do you know, we were leaving the ship at the same time. And it was so refreshing to hear a difference in their voices on what they should have done when they were in the military. I had 2 guys say, Bruce, I should have did what you did, man. I should have stopped allowing all of these guys who were lifers in the military and when I knew I was going to only do 4 years, I should have stopped listening to them and just follow going to college. Get these years done, because now you use tuition assistance. You didn't have to pay out of your Montgomery GI Bill. Now I have to use my whole Montgomery GI Bill to pay for my college. And we left the ship. And I couldn't believe what I just heard. The 23-year-old me hearing from them, we should have did what you did, Bruce. And all I can remember, the flashbacks of all the crap that they used to say to me, all the negativity of what they used to say to me on what I should be doing. And then to hear them say this years later, we should have did what you did, Bruce. That was so refreshing for me. So refreshing. So I'm going to ask you, who is speaking negatively to you? Who's talking to you and telling you what you should do? And you know in your heart, you should be doing it. You shouldn't be doing what they're telling you to do, but you should be doing the thing that's in your heart to do. The thing that you've been talking about doing for all of these years that you're not doing. Who is stopping you from making the progress that you want in your life? The moment you find out who it is, you can begin the process of operating in silence. Operating in silence is not about having bad feelings towards a person. It's not about having animosity. It's not about having anger, bitterness, or resentment towards somebody. What it's about is it's protecting you to keep you on track on where you want to be in your life, and you value yourself and love yourself enough to keep going, and to stopping the negative influences, the opinions, from preventing you from being able to move forward and operating in your gift. That's what operating in silence is about. So what they don't see you for a while? So what they haven't heard from you for a while? What's more important? Is your dream more important than hearing from them? Is their opinion more important than your own opinion? You need to get perspective about what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get more perspective about what your life is supposed to be about, or what you're supposed to do in your life. That's more important than trying to please and make other people happy. I didn't become a doctor overnight because I was just sitting around getting all the opinions of other people. I became a doctor because I value myself enough to invest time and energy into myself and invest in myself to be where I want to be, and stop allowing the negativity of other people to stop me from being where I want to be. Sometimes you got to remove yourself from situations and people and things to be where you want to be. And I tell you this, the only person that you can blame in the end, if you don't do it, is yourself. It's yourself. So the moment you get rid of that roadblock, the moment you get rid of all that crap that's holding you down from being where you want to be, that is the moment that you can move in a direction where you want to be. So if you want to operate in silence, you need to evaluate what's preventing you from being able to operate in your gift or operate where you want to be in your life. You got to evaluate it. It's important that you take the time to evaluate that, because the moment you start doing it, the moment you will start to identify the things that are preventing you from being where you want to be. I love you too much not to tell you the truth. So many people want to always suck up your time and energy, but do they want to help invest in what you're doing? Ask them that question. I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but that's been on my heart today, and I feel the need to release it to you. And I hope that you take to heart what I'm talking about, because the moment that you keep doing it, and it's going to take repetition, it's going to take some time to do it, and you know you're on the right track when you hear people who used to tell you what you should do, and they start seeing your successes, they'll say, man, wow, you're doing such a phenomenal job. You're doing amazing. They start complimenting you, and then you start to see the regret, and then you hear them say, I should have did what you did. You're going to hear it one day. You're going to hear it one day. And I tell you this, you need to operate in silence right now. You need to get focused. You need to get your mind on track. Change your environment. Change the people who are stopping you from getting where you want to be. And you will be where you want to be. If you want to find out what I'm doing and where I'm at, you can go on my social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can put in at I am Bruce Westfield. That's right, I am Bruce Westfield. You want to find out what I'm doing with the John Maxwell team, you can go to www.johnmaxwellgroup.com/Bruce Westfield. I want to thank you and each and every one of you for joining me today on this episode on the Grind Workshop Podcast. I love and appreciate you. If there's anything I can do as far as being able to shout out people who are doing some things, or if you want to leave me a voicemail on how this is impacting you, I would love to post it on the podcast. Thank you again for joining me today and your support. I'll see you next week.